Well, good morning, O Joyful Church. I hope this is the start of a great day for each one of you. I have been thinking a lot about this idea of peace, the peace that Jesus brings to us and the peace that we can experience and then deliver to the people around us. And one of the stories that's come to my mind from the Bible, and I've been wanting to get around to talking to you about it, is in Mark 4 and several other places in the Gospels. But this is the spot where Jesus and the disciples get in a boat and head out, and the storm comes. And all of us are probably familiar with that. It's a pretty iconic event. Jesus has been teaching. He's been quickly gathering his disciples together. In fact, in Mark, it says he just finally gets that whole group, and they're traveling together. And he has been exhausting himself in this. And so he says, well, I got to have a break, guys. Let's get in the boat. Let's head out, and we're going to head across the sea. And let me pick up the story there with you. This is Mark 4 in verse 35 through 41. So on that day, when evening came, he said to them, let's go to the other side. And leaving the crowd, they took him along with them in the boat, just as he was. And other boats were with him. And there arose a fierce gale of wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was filling up. Jesus himself was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him and said to him, Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? And he got up and he rebuked the wind, and he said to the sea, Hush, be still. And it was perfectly calm. And he said to them, Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? And they became very much afraid and said to one another, Who is this that even the wind and the sea obey him? Well, there's a lot in this story, but I just want to talk with you about a couple of things. One is, this is a big storm, and it's described in the Gospels as a seismic event, literally, that's just unbelievable. And now there were fishermen in that boat that had experienced storms out there before, and maybe they were less scared than some, but I'm picturing Matthew, this tax collector who's been in the city, and suddenly he's thrown into this situation with these guys. And water's coming over the side, the boat's rocking, the waves are huge, the wind is howling, and there's a sense of very real fear about what nature is bringing to them in this situation. Well, then they do something that is probably the most universal thing that we do. We go to God and we say, God, why are you letting this happen? Do you not even care that we are perishing? A lot of times it's not a question, but it's an accusation. You don't care. You don't care what's happening in my life. It's clear. Look what's happening in my heart. Look what's happening in my relationships, my family, my community. Well, Jesus gets up. And we know from the pictures that we've seen of this that have been painted that he stands up and holds his arms out and calms the sea. And the text tells us that he rebukes it, that it's a forceful command. Be silent, be calm. And it goes from this wild, raging storm down to glass. Can you imagine what that was like? I mean, just picture that, the boat rocking and the water coming in and the fear and the tension, and suddenly with these loud words of silence, calm. And it must have been a powerful moment. And then it says, as soon as that happens, the disciples are afraid again. They have a new fear. And you can just imagine them backing up away from Jesus, like pushing against that wet floor of the boat and up against the sides of it and making as much space around him as they can. And he says, why are you afraid? Well, a couple of things about that. One is that the disciples had been at the mercy of nature, and they were afraid, and they should have been. With the storm calm, they're now at the mercy of Jesus. Those are two different things. Because being at the mercy of Jesus makes all the difference. The storm that we're in right now is a scary storm, and we're all going to handle it differently, but there's an element of fear for all of us in this. But I just want to encourage you. If you know Jesus, he is greater than any storm. So let me encourage you to rest in him, and perhaps ask yourself this question that the disciples asked themselves at the end of this. Who then is this that even the wind and the sea obey him? Y'all have a great day.